For posting on air. Good
Boom.
morning, everybody. Bright and early if you're on the West Coast, just touching noon if you're on the East Coast, and somewhere in the middle if you're in the middle of the country. And we are here this morning to talk about the thing that we're all so excited about, Rippln. And I've got Vanessa Duplessis. She's on the East Coast, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Vince Ortega, also in Central Time Zone like me. And Mark Hoverson, who says only the Rippln would get him up at 9 a.m. in the morning. Morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey.
Vanessa.
And, we're all excited. We didn't know what we were going to come on and talk about, but I know that over the last 48 hours, a lot of you around the world have been looking at various iterations and webinars of the Rippln Rewards Plan. And I know that we've got a lot of people that are excited and a lot of people that are confused. And let me tell you, first off, go with excited, eliminate confused. But for those of you that are, we're going to talk a little bit about that because it's not about how the comp plan works. It's about what you do to take most advantage of the rewards program. And I'm here to say whatever you've been doing to get you this far, if you've got a big Rippln, keep doing it. If it's not as big as you like, we're going to talk about what you do to get it bigger. And if you keep doing that, the rewards plan will take really good care of you. But to go into a little bit more detail, Mark, what are you hearing now that the Rippln Rewards program is sort of out among the public?
Well, you know, every reward plan is it's like a game, and there's cheese in the game, right? So every reward plan has cheese. So where's the cheese in this reward plan? That's the question. That's the question of every company. And what I personally like, I'm not going to say I've heard a lot of things, but what I like is that the cheese is a monster community. And it's like the massive school of fish versus the cheese being a few superstars that you are recruiting monsters. This is more like a giant organism that you're rewarded in. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it does.
As much sense as the rewards plan makes, yes.
Yeah. So what I think I see.
I'm going with it. Yes.
What I think I see with it is, you know, there's different, and again, it's, you know, it's where's the cheese, and
I got that part.
That drives the behavior. So what I like about this, and it's already happening, is more synergy, more alignment, and more vision with teams. And you know, in this industry, teams and community, you know, that's as solid as you can get.
And I would agree with that. And you know, Vanessa, you were saying that there are so many people that are coming to Rippln, and I agree with this, that have never been involved in direct selling, and they've got, you know, a little bit of confusion. And I don't say they don't know how lucky they are. If this is your first experience ever being involved in this industry, being confused with how a reward system works, that's normal. We're always confused. But having no baggage, you know, that you have to, from what you've done before to what you're doing here, really lets you appreciate what this is all about. But what kind of stuff are you hearing? Maybe we can help take back the curtain and simplify this for some folks.
Well, you know, before I go there, I want to touch on what Mark just said about community. And that is really what I'm enjoying the most out of being here, because I've been with different companies, I've worked with different organizations, and I love our community. I feel it, and I feel the energy. So, Mark, when you said that, I just wanted to, you know, point that out. That's important here.
And I would agree that some of that baggage I was talking about, because if this is your first experience, boy, there are those of us who can appreciate it because of where we've been. But boy, if I had started with this, I mean, you know, we're one team, one dream. I was just saying this morning before we came on the air, I'm working with phenomenal people, but I don't get to work with these guys as much, which is why they're all here this morning, so we could all have fun together and with all of you that are watching. So, Vanessa, what are you hearing?
You know, what I've heard from a few folks is that they've never seen anything like this. It seems so confusing, and, you know, they don't quite understand exactly, you know, how we're going to be rewarded and incentivized, and how it turns into income. And what I've been saying is that more information is going to come as we get closer, that this was the 30,000-foot view, and that we'll be able to help them deep dive, and that the most important piece of the puzzle is to work on growing your Rippln.
Always. Always. And, you know, let's address that, because I think that's what we're hearing from everybody, just that little piece, and get it out of the way so that we can talk about the fun stuff, which is what's going on with Rippln and how to grow your Rippln. And we'll make that real simple. Folks, Mark, you said something to me the other day in a conversation we had, and it was so brilliant. one of the things that's so phenomenal about Rippln is it's really just a giant community that you can participate in to whatever level that you choose. And it's all about what decision you make on any given day, but it's always about decision. The only bad decision I think one could ever make in Rippln would be when someone invites you if you would say no. But that's the first decision. Someone invites you into the Rippln, into the Ripple in Rippln, and you would say no, because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This is a cool community. It is the cutting edge. It is where all this amazing stuff's going to happen. And the only way to find out more and to watch what's going on with the cool kids is to be in the Ripple. So that's the first decision. Do you want someone invites you to the Ripple and you say yes or no? And if you say yes, you get in. At that point, you're a spectator. And the next decision you want to make is, hey, do I want to actually log in, tune in, and see what's going on in this Ripple thing? Yes or no? I think yes is a really good decision there. And then the next decision is, do I want to go tell all the people that I know and give them the opportunity to see what's going on that's cool and cutting edge and where the world is going, and have the opportunity to be the first incentivize sharing this new model that's going to allow people to do all these things that you're hearing about, and I'll touch on that later, and yes or no. And then you're going to have a decision that says, do I want to see how my social graph grows beyond me? Right now, we all look in, and we're all fans. We can see everybody that we've invited and the numbers that are growing from them, but we don't know who those people are. We can see how far it's tracking around the world, but we don't know what's happening in all those countries. And if you decide that you would like to see the extent and how far your Ripple grows around the world, and that information is valuable to you, and I would have to say, Mark, you can touch on this because you're much more in tune with what goes on in the mobile world and in data and everything else. But to know the extent of your social graph and where it's going around the world and everything else, that data, isn't that what companies are spending fortunes to find out today?
Yeah, data is like oil. You know, there's always like some precious thing, whether it's gold or whether it's oil, and right now the fastest, quickest commodified thing on the planet is data. But it's not just data, because like American Airlines has a bunch of data, but that data doesn't really like to engage it. It's not engaged data. It's not interested data. So you take Facebook, and that's like super hyper engaged data, right? So with Rippln, we've got this data that's growing, and we've got this hyper engagement before there is even a whole heck of a lot to multi-engage in. So I think our engagement is only going to ramp up, and as that ramps up, the virality will ramp up, and we could have the biggest chunk of most engaged data possibly on the planet. And engaged data, like, so there's apps where people are engaged, like little Snapchat apps and flashlights, but those are hard to make money with. So it's not just data, and it's not just engagement, it's data, engagement, and commerce. So we are bringing a trinity together that is not together. Facebook is still trying to figure out how to actually make money. Instagram is highly engaged data, but where's the commerce?
I got you, and you're right, because knowing that I like to use a flashlight on my phone, what's that really worth to somebody?
Yeah, well, there's a little ad that says you can get it 5% off Walgreens. So they're hoping you click it, but you're not.
Okay, so Vanessa, you have tens of thousands of people in your Ripple, but right now you can only see the people that you invited and the fact that you're in how many countries?
142.
Okay, and how many levels deep is your Ripple?
23.
Okay, so for $69 a year, she will be able to see all of her Ripple data, the depth of her Ripple, who that involves, what countries that's happening in, and that's what you get for $69 a year. And that's open to anybody, and that's a decision. You can choose to want to see that or not, and that's okay. Now, in that entire Ripple, at some point, all kinds of activity is going to be going on that is monetizable. The stuff Mark was talking about, commerce that comes in, all kinds of offers that people will say yes to, offers that people will say no to. There's going to be offers left and right as the company grows, weekly, daily, monthly, all across the board. I doubt there's any offer that even anybody on this panel, that we're not going to all of us say yes to every single offer, I'm sure. But that's the beauty of it. Yes, I want it. No, I want it. No, I don't. As that all happens in this giant ripple that you grow through your social graph, you have the option to just play and earn points and win prizes, or to monetize. And to monetize is very simple. For $25 a month, you will have the ability to have all of the activity that is happening within your giant, huge ripple as it grows around the world tracked for monetization and be eligible to earn on it. And those are the only fees that are associated with monetizing this Ripple. $69 a year to see all of the activity, and $25 a year if you want it tracked for monetization. 25 a month, I'm sorry, 25 a month. And what you have to do to be able to earn on that is have 5 personally enrolled, engaged fans. And engaged just means that it's people doing something on the platform. Beyond that, I wouldn't worry about it, folks, because everything else is going to be people making choices like we just talked about. Yes and no choices based on all of the value and offers and things that come through the Ripple on a daily basis. And as Vanessa said early on, the more people that are in your Ripple, the more people that are going to be to make decisions. And now we're going to go back to Vincent and Mark, because Vincent's relatively new to this field. Mark is the expert, but they've been working with audiences and offers for a long, long time. And from what Mark tells me, when the audience is big and you're providing value, as long as there are good offers coming down the pike, eventually some people do, some people don't, but it always leads to money. Mark, is that a correct assessment?
Well, I'm gonna give this one to Vince, because Vince has started developing a nice, huge community, and he throws, I feel like, a cornucopia of offers out there. And some people buy, some people don't, because not every offer is for every person. That's what I love about this, is in a different type of company, which, like, I can give you a case in point. There's a nutritional company that I loved those vitamins, but then I had a friend who had some different vitamins, and I was like, oh, try those out. Well, I had to, like, I can't be on both vitamins. It's just not going to work.
And then comes guilt.
It was like a one-trick pony. That it was over. My customer value was over. In the Ripple, oh my gosh, it could be a Mophie case, a smartphone, a tablet, Beats by Dre. It could be an offer on, you name it, and it just keeps coming, and the community stays alive. It's crazy. But Vince, what do you feel about multiple offers to a community, and what's been your experience?
Yeah, I mean, when I started to really grow my income is because I had, diversified income. Like, I had income coming from so many different streams. So that's what's beautiful about Rippln, is like, we have, like you were saying, there's really no end to what can happen inside of our Ripple. And then the fact where you're talking about too, Mark, which is huge, is that in our companies, no matter what, it's always, a top 10 or top 15 people who are really making the money. I think for Rippln, this is the first time that I've ever honestly been able to say anybody can create an income. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have a full leadership role anymore to be able to create income. Because I know, like, for example, my dad got my grandpa on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where you're at. My dad has no entrepreneur background, so it's like, yeah. with Rippln, it's like anybody can get anybody into this, because it's just a free, hey, come join your fam. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like a hard sell. It's not like what we do in our businesses where it's like, here, buy a product. It's such and such price, So that's what is so exciting about this. For the first time ever, I think that we're living, literally in humanity, that it's been so easy to create a team and an income for anybody on this planet, So that's what pumps me up every time I think about Rippln, That's why we're here in the morning with Mark and I. We're not morning people, you know what I mean? Like, it's exciting to look at this kind of stuff, So that's where it's at for me. That's my mentality on it with people, It's like anybody can do this.
I just love creating something that isn't so forced.
Right.
I love the industry that we're in. I love everything about it. I love that we're now creating a hybrid, which is the, culmination of so many different industries manifesting themselves in what I think is this new model. But as Mark was saying, in the past, it was always, this is the product, love this product, buy this product all the time, every month, use this product, because if you don't, where does it go from there? And here, nobody has to do anything. Everyone is welcome, and the Ripple it's a lot of fun just building your social graph and seeing where it's going to go. And I think that what's happening is people are getting so seriously caught up in things that take care of themselves, just play the game. My daughter, and this is kind of funny, was here yesterday. She had some college friends come in. Oh, they're alumni now, I guess. And they were going to Houston to a lake house and to a concert to celebrate. And one of them, who graduated, is kind of techie, and she was showing him the Ripple. And as he was going through it, he said, I know this company because I worked for SendGrid part-time in my senior year, and do you know how many emails you guys are sending? And I said, yeah, we've had a challenge with that. He goes, you must be really, really, really big. And I said, we're only 5 weeks old, but we're approaching about 700,000 people. And he started, do you know what your numbers are? I don't think anybody's done that in 6.5 weeks. And I said, yeah, we're on this march to 1 million. We're kind of having this challenge to see if we can do it, in 60 days. And he was throwing all these stats at me that I've been hearing for 7 weeks because I'm involved with being a dinosaur, but this is really a big thing out in the world. So I'd like to get back to that, which is why I opened with all this stuff, because I know people are concerned about it. But let's talk about the game and playing the game. Because Mark, and I know you guys, you got your hand on the pulse of that. You've been working a lot with the gamification, working with Jonathan. I know that Vanessa, you're very close to it and have seen it in action. How is that going? Talk about what happens when people make life a game and you turn tasks into games, and how that affects performance and how that's going to play out here at Rippln. Because that's what excites me, being the old dinosaur that I am in the days when work was work. Work wasn't the game that you're all making.
The dino. Vanessa, you want to take it away, and then I'll go crazy.
Okay. I want to add to one of the things I really love about what we're doing is that we're actually just doing what we already do. We're, basically going to be rewarded for something that most of us, we're on Facebook, we watch YouTube, we play on Groupon, I buy on Amazon. It's just so natural in our lives these days that what we're going to do through Rippln is going to be easy to integrate into what we're already doing. So from the gamification and fun standpoint, I think that's where I keep coming back to this community feel. And when somebody breaks a new country, when someone adds another 5 people to their Ripple, it's exciting and it's fun and we get energized. And I said this a couple weeks ago, there's not enough fun in most of our lives these days. There's a lot of stress and there's a lot of worry for a lot of people. Yet when we come to these social media outlets, when we play apps on our phone, we use it as a way to kind of escape that kind of drudgery. And so what we have and the way we're going to start playing and leveling up and all this fun stuff really is a part of the future of, I think, part of the future of humanity and, increasing happiness.
Totally. Yeah, because when you think about life, like we go to baseball games, we go to college games, like we always want to be in a game atmosphere. And it's so fun that we can play a game and get monetized for it. That's what's going to be fun about Rippln, I think. So that's what I've been telling all, even my age, like Brett, his prodigy, man, like they're all excited about it because they're younger, but they're playing a game together. And it's really cool how that all works out.
And you don't have to be young to play the game either. This really, I think, fits so many generations and so many ages.
Totally does. Yeah, I mean, my dad's into it. It's crazy. I've never seen him into anything. He's doing pretty good. He's got a few in there. I'm like, what? So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, I think,
Mark, you're saying.
It's kind of like it's always ease. So whenever you're going to grow something and anything's going to go viral, it's like the steps of ease, right? How much ease is involved? So, like, this is an actual text I sent to one of my buddies that Shanny used to babysit. So he's 20, but Shanny used to babysit him when he was a kid. So I say, Cody, my son, little term of endearment. I'm in this mobile game that tracks your social influence. Since you're such a badass, I think this could be really interesting. It's a free account, and I want to send you an invite, and we can chat more about it later. Sound good? That's it. Of course, yes. Mm-hmm. Send me the invite. It's a free account. It tracks your social influence. Let's see what you got. Let's start it. And just so with something that easy, now we've got versus like and I'm all about direct selling of specific products like So this is very different than me going, hey, Cody, I have this $5,000 travel package. You should really check it out. It's not natural. Even for people that travel, it's still kind of like, difficult. So it requires direct response advertising. So it limits itself just on that model. Whereas this model can literally be like, hey, Mom, I think it'd be cool if you and Jody started playing this game to see who has more contacts. We could just pit friends against each other. It's just fun and easy. And then the chat app goes through, and wait till the chat app comes. Now it's coming, but just think about it. Anybody that's texting in your phone, you literally imagine how easy this is. This would be, hey, Cody, instead of texting, let's try this chat app a couple times and see if we want to do this instead of texting. Download it and hit me. And then she's like, yeah, but this is what it is. Hey, do you like it? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Well, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. And now he's engaged in the Ripple. He's not just in the Ripple. He's engaging the Ripple. And when that happens, you think it's easy now. You just wait. You just wait. Don't get me going.
It's funny because, Mark, I think you touched on it. I think that what happens is people get so wrapped up in what's complicated that they slow themselves down. I have been doing some form of network marketing, direct selling for more than half my life. Right. And I've never worried about what the rewards system was. Because I can tell you this, and then I think we should drop and just talk about how to get big groups. There are things you need to worry about. Is the company solid? It is. Right. The people behind this, I've been working with this team for 14 years, but look around. It's not just the leadership from this industry. It's the leadership from affiliate marketing, leadership from online marketing, leadership from mobile marketing. This has attracted such superstars from so many various industries because they can't resist what's next. Everybody wants to be a part of what's new and what's next. And yeah, that's scary to a lot of people, and those that move through their fear come out, launch things like Facebook and Tumblr and all the things that are making the news today. Or if you want to go back, I always laugh, with anything that's new, there are always those that get left behind and those that jump into the forefront. So there's that. You want to look at who are the people you're going to be working with every day. Is it going to be fun? Because you get to choose who you work with in this industry, which is what attracted me in the first place. But here's a rule of thumb. When you have nobody that you're in your group, it doesn't matter what the compensation structure is. You don't make any money. When you have a few people, you make a little bit of money. When you have some people, you make some money. When you have a huge amount of people is when you make lots of money. More people, more money. So the bigger your group, whatever it is, you're going to make the most money. So when I looked at this, the question you have to ask yourself is, if the Ripple has 700,000 people in it in 7 weeks, with such little information out there and no monetization, and the app hasn't been released and nobody really knows what it is, what might it have in 7 months or 2 years or 30 months or 5 years?
I mean, Lisa, let's just add, you just add now in the story of this social influence thing. Oh yeah, and Cody, one of my friends who's 23 made $8,000 last month playing this game. You got to check. I mean, would that not make it a little more intriguing?
That's going to be crazy.
So, Lisa, you just got me going on it because we have no stories to share right now, and still just about everybody's game on. Wait till we're like, yeah, and Cody, I'm doing 75,000.
Welcome out, Michael. We'll jump in here in a sec. So think about that. That's where that number could be. And then think about this. Think about... everybody always wants to reference Facebook. Facebook, because they can't figure out how to make any money, they deserve to be referenced in every story of every tech company that is making money. I think they've earned the right to at least be pointed to for that. But think about this. When Mark Zuckerberg was sitting in that dorm room thinking of something for all the people to play at Harvard doing because he was mad at a girl, do you think anybody except maybe him envisioned that it would be what it is today? Of course they didn't. Now, because of what he did, everybody imagines, can they go where it went? But even Facebook a year ago didn't imagine what Facebook would be today. But wherever Facebook goes, more and more people are going with them. So I don't really worry about where Rippln is going to go, because it's never about the technology and it's never about what you're going to be doing next week. It's about the audience. And nobody is better at building audiences than people who know people who know people who know people, because they're all connected. And we're going to give them better ways to be connected. So if you think about that, the next question becomes, how many people do I know that I can just track my social influence with? And how many people do they know? And how many people? Isn't it something you'd like to know? Or are you afraid to know? Would you like to know if the people in your phone would do something if you asked them to? They will. It's a function of the questions you're asking. And if you think everybody's going to ask all these crazy questions, do people really ask, who's behind Candy Crunch? And why is everybody doing that anyway? And where's the value in it? And what's going to happen? I don't get it. 5 million people are playing that game. I don't understand why. And I don't think birds are angry anyway. And it doesn't stop the whole world from doing it. I think birds are happy creatures. I think they named it Angry Birds so people would say, why are the birds angry? It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, if you just stop and play the game and ask other people to play the game and ask other people to play the game and you let it unfold, whatever it is, however it works, whatever the offer is, the more people that you're connected to, the more people that they're connected to, the better you're going to do. So if everybody dials it back and does what Mark says and plays the game, you're going to have a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really busy. I can't believe how it's grown. The most fun for me in this game is the countries that I didn't know existed. Did you all know that there's a place called Mauritius? That people must live there because we have them in our Rippln.
Wow.
She's actually, she's one of my
We've been
downlines.
rattling on about this. Michael Rutherford has joined us. And Michael, we were just talking about the simplicity and the complexity that is Rippln. Michael is, for those of you that I know you've seen him on a lot of our Hangouts and our webinars. Here we are on a Saturday morning just talking about the fun that is Rippln and what people need to be doing. Michael, we've got Vince Ortega over there in, don't tell me, I know where you are, I'll remember. Like, Vanessa's up at a college reunion. Mark got up at the crack of dawn. Oh, and so did you, because you're in San Diego, he's in Phoenix. These early birds. So what's going on, Michael? How's it going out there in San Diego, where you wear hats at 9 o'clock in the morning in the house? Hats in the house?
Things are really good. Things are good. I was in Portland the last couple of days. Vancouver, Washington, actually. I got me a new Rippln hat as a gift.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. Rippln. I didn't see that. Yes.
That's nice.
I'm wearing my Rippln orange. I got my Rippln hat on. I got my Rippln orange Nikes upstairs. If someone's not having fun with Rippln, they don't know how to have fun. I mean, that's just all there is to it. If they can't have fun with Rippln, they don't know how to have fun. And you just said when somebody gets an invite to Candy Crush, they're not thinking, I wonder who owns this. I wonder where their servers are. I wonder how well they're capitalized. I better make sure that they're very well funded and the people that are behind the company have a big background and a business pedigree before I invite my
I can't even figure out what they're thinking while they're playing it.
You don't know. Like, here's what's funny. You don't even know where their servers for Facebook are. You don't know anything about Facebook. You know their privacy is jacked up, but you don't care. It's fun and engaging. You invite your friends. So people think Rippln's going to blow up because of the rewards plan. Facebook has no rewards plan, and they got 1 billion people. People are on Facebook because it's fun, not because they can get rich doing it. So what's funny, when we talk about Rippln, I met a guy on an airplane flying to Portland, and we started off talking about Jesus, actually.
Jesus,
which is always a fun beginning of a conversation.
Solid beginnings.
And he goes, I said, where are you headed? And he says, I'm just going to Sacramento. And I said, he goes, what about you? I said, I'm going to Portland. I hear it's raining. He goes, yeah, but it's really green. And he goes, that's Jesus' country up there. And I went, okay, well, hopefully I get to see him. So he goes, well, what are you doing? I said, actually, some friends of mine and I are launching a new mobile app. And he pulls his phone, not out of his pocket because it was in his hand. He goes, what's it called? And he tried to download it. And I go, well, actually, we haven't even launched it yet. And he goes, oh, no way, a little pre-launch app, huh? And he goes, how's it going? And I go, it's not going that bad. We got about 700,000 people. And he about spit out his coffee into my lap on the plane. And he goes, well, how long have you been, pre-launching it? And I said, well, we've been in this like pre-beta phase for about 40 days. And he almost spit his coffee out again. He goes, did you say 40? And I went, yeah, like 5 weeks or so. And he goes, and you have 700,000 people in the United States in it already? And I go, oh, no, we probably have like 300,000 or 400,000 in the United States. And he goes, well, where are the rest of them? And I'm like, I've got like 500 in Seychelles, in like the country that you just said. I'm like,
Seychelles, go
so I
there.
started rattling off countries. I'm waiting for a guy to be in the Ripple on the moon. Like I'm waiting for someone to
Nice.
and be on the moon on his phone and go, yeah, we're in space. So he goes, are you kidding me? Like, how did that happen? And I said, well, it's funny, kind of by design. Rippln is, and he goes, is that what it's called, Rippln? I go, yeah, you've heard of like the ripple effect, right? And he goes, yeah, like a domino effect. I go, well, we've just kind of taken advantage of or are capitalizing on the fact that most social networks are built like a ripple effect. In other words, people tell people tell people tell people. We just think you should know what happens beyond the production. And he goes, dude, I need in on that. And I went, well, once we land and we have signal, I'll send you an invitation. And he goes, oh, it's invite only? Kind of like Pinterest, huh? And I went, interesting, you should notice that. So those stories are happening all over the place. And that's, to me, what's really the driving factor. We didn't talk about the rewards plan. I didn't even know what it was. I'll let you in on a secret. I still don't, because I was in a meeting during the webinar. So it's...
But Michael, you're pretty confident that with a big group, it'll take care of you, right?
You know what's funny? We were. I will tell you another story. We were in Portland, and I like music. I like hip hop. I like Christian music. I like country music. I have every kind of music on my phone. So when somebody sent me a link to a Rippln rap video last week, I was so jacked about it. If you've not heard it, you'll lose your mind when you hear it. One of the lyrics is talking about Brian Underwood stacking checks in a rubber band and the funniest stuff. So when I hear that the guys are going to perform the song for the very first time on stage at our Portland event, I go, I don't know what to think about that. That's going to be an interesting experience. So we have these 3 guys up on stage performing the Rippln rap and talk about Rippln, talking about the invitation process. It was unbelievable. So once again, if you can't have fun with Rippln, I don't know that you know how to have fun. So after they're done, I go up on stage. I'm kind of telling the Rippln story. We're having fun. And I started asking the guys about the entertainment industry. And Jay Bud and I talk about this. Brian and I talk about this a lot. The entertainment industry it's completely upside down. Whether you're talking about music or movies or even sports, I mean, all of them are completely in disarray is maybe a strong word, but YouTube and Twitter and these things have changed music forever. American Idol has changed it forever. Rippln is about to change them forever. All of them at the same time. Because we started asking this guy, I said, why do you like Rippln? He goes, because if it's going to do anything like what I think it's going to do, I'm going to be able to sell more albums in the next 12 months than Jay-Z can sell in the next 12 months because my Ripple will be bigger than his Ripple. And I'm laughing going, holy smokes. So he's talking about all the ways that you could be able to disseminate information through the Ripple to people around the globe that you would never be able to do before, because it's not about personal followers, it's about community followers or an entire global ripple. So whether you're talking about getting a new movie out to the world or a new song out to the world or a new piece of art out to the world or a new baseball cap or a television or an app, the Ripple's the place to do it. In due time, people will understand that. Faith is about dancing before the music is playing, not waiting until the party's already rocking and then just joining in the party. It's about creating the party. So those stories were so funny just watching them happen in person. And I know I was late, so I appreciate you letting me jump in and spend a few towards the end of the call. But it's nuts just watching it go down. It's the weirdest, oddest, funnest thing ever.
Michael, you are nothing if not excited.
True.
One thing that you're saying on there, brother, was cool is you're talking about, like, somebody in the music industry sharing their music. What's cool is also, like, say, for example, these Oklahoma tornadoes that are going on with all these people that need all this disaster relief is like, we can start a movement with that through the Ripple, like get a whole bunch of people in that area to be like, yo, go over there and hook these people up with some help, you know what I mean? So it's exciting that, we can go from that end of the spectrum all the way to, like recording artists doing that kind of stuff. So, like, there's both sides of the spectrum that we can really touch on this. So it's amazing what we can do, really.
Yeah. And Jonathan and I, we did one of the interviews on the whole concept of ripples for good. So you take the tornadoes and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's one thing if you're invited to donate $5 to a cause. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But imagine in Rippln when you have your Ripple and you can see that, so the offer goes out like $5, $10, 15, just click a button and it'll tap it and it'll go towards the cause. But you can see the cumulative effect of your social graph and what that was worth for aid. I mean, I think this can take fundraising and charity to a level of transparency and enthusiasm that it's never been possible. It just hasn't been possible before. So I think it could be crazy, just on what can come from our ripples, and just to see that, wow, I gave $10, but my social impact created $8,000 or whatever that number is. So there's so many things we can do with this.
No, I think that really, Rippln is so amazing because it's created by design. All these other things, people join them and they find each other and community is created, but this is a community creating it by design. The possibilities of what it can create are so endless. The people behind it are so committed to it that if we seem short or if we're impatient with questions, there are no stupid questions for those of you that are watching. And I want to apologize for when people call me with questions like, oh, it doesn't work on Internet Explorer and things like that. If I seem short, it's not that those things aren't important to someone, certainly not to me. And I don't want to imply that they're not important to others. It's that if you look at the big picture of what Rippln is, of where it can go, of all the possibilities that are created when insanely talented people unify together to do what's never been done before, and they bring the connectivity and rewards of an industry like network marketing together, and the talent and audience building of an industry like info marketing, like what Mark is such a specialist at, together, and the scope of what mobile and the web and globalization and localization are brought together. And all these minds are creating something that's going to allow people to participate in what they actually create with their social influence and the content that they're bringing to the marketplace. And we see where that can go. So those things are just challenges to be met every day, and we'll meet them, but they're not going to slow us down. They're not going to slow anybody down. And all we have to do is go out and invite people to the party, as Michael said. Send out the invitation, let them decide. If they're in the Ripple, they can decide every day, do they want to see more data? Do they want to participate and monetize? Do they want to accept this offer or accept that offer? And nobody cares. Each and every person can make whatever decision they want to make on any given day, as long as they're a part of the Ripple in some form or fashion. And the only job we have is to help them do that. The company and all these great minds you see around you will take care of everything else. And if you get that, then you will make every single day count and get out and play the game. And if you don't, and you want to sit back and wait and see it all unfold and wait until you're ready, that's okay too. Just don't expect it to stop anybody else, because we will be rippling on and rippling on. Because when I look at the numbers, Mark, truth, when Jonathan stood on the stage that first day in Dallas and threw that number out, did you see this? Because I didn't. I thought I figured, how are we going to hit this number? Well, I'm rah.
The 100,000.
Yeah, did you think?
Oh, I remember thinking, like, why did he do that? Like, all we're doing is getting set up for failure here.
Mike Rutherford, what did you see? Did you think?
I was talking. Mark Overson and I were standing next to each other, going, "How many can we get?" And J Bud said 100, and Mark went, "Oh, blank."
Vanessa?
Him and I were laughing. I went, well, it looks like we better cancel all appointments for the next 30 days and start rippling up. And then I remember the next day refreshing our screens, like after 24 hours, we had blown by we were just going bananas. I mean, we did like 10,000 a day, and then it just went crazy. And it's not slowed down since. And it's kind of weird how it, like I think Mark said at the front end, it becomes a living organism. It almost takes a life of its own where you can't slow it down. Like somebody messaged me yesterday and said, hey, we got 2,200 in Brazil. And I said, I don't know. I said, who is it? He goes, I don't know. And he goes, I've been trying to find out for 2 days. And That is
busted.
weird how that happens. It is absolute chaos how it can grow out of your control. So that's what's real fun.
Vanessa, how about you? You were there, and so were you, Vincent. Did you think when Jonathan threw that number out?
Go
It
ahead, Vanessa.
was it was one of those things I thought, oh my gosh, we better get to work and, let's see how we're going to do this. And what happened for me is I realized that this really does take a life of its own, but we can be anywhere. We're around the world, and we can be around the world. I was watching people break countries, and it was just cool. But it doesn't have to take a lot of time. And so what we have here is something I keep going back to. We're already doing it. I buy stuff on Groupon. I buy stuff on Amazon. I say, hey, sis, check this thing out on Amazon. It's what we already do, so it fits into our lives. And right now I'm in a hotel room in Massachusetts, and I don't have to be tied to anything. I mean, I've got my phone right here, and I'm on the computer right now, but you can be sitting in a restaurant. You can be anywhere sending an invitation. It's quick, and it's really, really great.
Vincent, come on, admit it. You thought we'd do it, right? You're the one person who saw the number happen.
Well, I mean, Mark knows I'm a huge thinker, so honestly, this was the first time in my life that I thought that this was the easiest conversation for anybody on this planet. So I thought, for sure. I mean, I figured it was going to do what it's doing. I'm not kidding. So
I did too, just not that quick.
Just not that quick, exactly.
I didn't. When Jonathan threw that number out, I thought, okay, he's a marketer. That's what went through my head, a marketer.
Well, and what was the other number? 300,000 in 90 days. If we can do that, and that was
exactly.
Wow.
Which is
my
why,
gosh. Okay.
And that's why people watching have to realize you're going to see things evolve and things change, and that's very common in this tech sector. You have to be very fluid, because our whole initial plan was to create buzz and get to 150,000 in 60 days.
Lisa, I'm trying to raise my hand here.
Go.
Okay. So everybody follow this. YouTube. So we're talking about music earlier, right? The people, however you feel about Justin Bieber, let that simmer. But the people built Justin Bieber on YouTube. He was created on YouTube, he was shared on YouTube, liked on YouTube, and elevated up to become, yeah, of course,
Michael likes
Nice, Michael.
Solid.
And he also has a full life-size statue as well. You can go grab that for us, Rutherford. But here's the short story. We built that. So imagine if an artist comes through the Rippln, and they're a Rippln artist. You can make maybe 30% on their record sales. There's a lot of things that can happen with music alone. We can totally turn it on its head. But really, talking about speed of tech, think of this. So YouTube, remember how awesome it used to be? You could just Google or just YouTube whatever you want, and up it popped. Well, with the freemium model in other tech companies, just like with Facebook, remember how awesome it used to be? Remember how you used to just visit with your friends, and now it's just polluted with ads? And you go to YouTube now, and I was doing a webinar, and I was going to do a redirect link to Rick Ashley's Never Gonna Give You Up song. That was going to be after people it's a little punking kind of thing. But now there's a 90-second ad in front of it. YouTube is hateful now. I want to go watch a preview of a movie, I got to sit through an ad. So what happens in other tech companies is they steam, and then they've got to figure out how to monetize, and it actually throttles their growth. It's happening all over. Isn't Facebook infinitely more annoying now?
Infinitely more.
Yes. And all these things. It's just and YouTube is almost, I barely go to it now, because if I want to watch a music video or something, the thought of the ad just makes me go, I don't even want to deal with it. So what's crazy is Rippln, so we're growing, but our monetization is only going to make it into more quantum growth, because it's going to have the stories that are going on with it. So what I see that we're turning tech on its head as well, because just think of Voxer. I actually actively thought the other day, because I use Voxer quite a bit, I thought to myself, I'm going to hate when they try to start making money with this, because I'm going to have to listen to a 10-second ad before I send a Vox, or they're going to make me click through a little quiz, or they're going to do some stupid thing that I'm going to hate, and I'm going to quit using that app.
That's why I don't play Words with Friends anymore.
Yeah, and this is how it goes. So Rippln is turning the whole thing upside down. It's free now, but it goes from free to now you're making money. It's all, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I think
So
if you
tech, network marketing, audience building, so info marketing. What else are we turning on its head, Mark? How many industries?
don't even get me started. Too
I
many.
love when I get you started. You're so interesting to
I get
listen
a
to.
little too
The
hyper.
numbers go up every time you open your mouth.
I start sweating and I start freaking out. My hair starts on fire and stuff. I mean, I think we're doing tech for sure. Network marketing. That was like our seed.
When we announced the name.
What's that?
No, I'm saying network marketing we turned on its head when we announced we were opening the company.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, to me, I feel like we're the phoenix out of, well, never mind. Anyway, I think that that was a nice foundation to have incentivized sharing, technology, gamification. We're just piercing multiple industries simultaneously. And really, really, everybody realize that the generation coming up, they are professional sharers. Okay, they already are. They grew up with like buttons and share buttons, and it is their native, their leverage, their habit. So this company is, it's like a different company I heard that said we're not trying to create new habits, we're leveraging their existing habits. That's what Rippln's doing. It's leveraging our existing habit to say, hey, check out this app. Hey, check out this product. Hey, check out this video. Hey, check out this thing. So we're just enhancing what sharing can mean for people, and we're the first company to really do it in a way that can be ubiquitous. It can be multi-product. It can be multi-service. It can be multi. You name it. All right, get me out of here.
Which is really cool. So I have one question. What's the youngest? We have people that are like still in college, like freshmen in college, building big ripples, right? So we know that.
I know we have 14-year-olds. Michelle Pesco-Solido's girl took it to her lunchroom and blew it up.
Okay, I didn't know
that. It's a popularity contest to those kids.
Okay, so now we got that. And the oldest? Do we have a story on somebody that's in like an octogenarian or something? I want to find the oldest. I want to know from
300-year-old on Saturn.
What?
There's tons.
Right.
There's tons. It is
so
really
much
funny.
fun.
The picture was funny.
You've done a good hangout when your numbers when you're ending are much bigger than when you started. So they've gone up and up and up, which is really good. So I want to thank everybody. Closing thoughts on what we do at the week ahead. Ripple. Vincent first.
For me, and the reason that I think my team's growing, and I have a guy that's got 10,000 by himself, which is really cool for me, is that every single one of the people who are doing well are duplicating themselves. Because I'm an internet marketer, so they're doing a quick little video while they're excited about it. They're getting on Facebook, they're sharing that video with their friends in a private message, and then either that friend's excited or they're not. And then you got 5.9 billion more people to go find, because that's how many people have cell phones. I mean, just if you're getting to know, move on. Trust me, there's a lot more people out there. So that's kind of like my quick tip that I always give my people, and that's why we're growing pretty well. So that's it.
Love it.
It's easy. It's the most easy conversation you'll ever have in your life. That's all there is to it. It's awesome.
Vanessa, quick tip, closing thoughts?
Quick tip and closing thoughts. Be engaged and work to help your people be engaged, not only with the corporate calls, but with anything your teams are doing. And do not be afraid to ask for help with growing your Ripple. If you need help, there are people who will help you. You have to ask. We reach out and we do everything that we can as leaders, and it's for you to take that lifeline and say, yes, I'm ready for your assistance.
Michael Rutherford.
Can you read that or not?
Rippln. Okay, higher. We can't see. Higher. Higher.
Less questions, more action.
Hey!
You can't read it. My penmanship's terrible. Less questions, more action. So many people ask 55 questions about things they don't even know how they work. Like, it's funny. My wife and I bought a Range Rover last year. I don't have a clue how to do anything. It's like a 400-something horsepower supercharger. I have no clue how it works. I have no clue how to change my own oil. I have no clue how to do anything. But when I get on the highway and hammer the gas, it screams. I treat Rippln the same exact way. You have no idea how the details of anything work in most of your life, but yet you go with it because it feels good and it's fun. So I would try to take that mentality here. And if you feel like you've got a glass half empty thinking, like a thought, cut bait on it. Just get rid of it. It's not going to serve you. And have way more of a, it's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work, instead of a, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And most people live most of their lives with, I don't know, it might not work, instead of this thing's going to smoke. So hopefully that made some sense. It's a lot of slang in there, but less questions, more action.
Solid.
I love them all, and for me, it's just, I just want to play the game and see how fast, how far can your social influence take you. To close it out, something else to keep us up at night? Mark, you always have the golden words.
Oh, jeez. So much pressure. I'm just dying right now. I would say the number one thing is I would integrate into what we have in terms of information for you guys. I would invite a friend and stuff like that, but if you are like in that little fear, terror, nervous, like probably attending this right now, and I don't know how to interact with anybody in a Google Hangout, Lisa. I'm used to having them raise their hand and I can see everything. But, if you integrated here and you're here today, I'm going to just take a wild guess that your enthusiasm level's higher, your belief level's higher, your vision for what this could become for you and your friends and your people is higher. So I would definitely say that what we put out in terms of our teams, your leaders, Rippln HQ, just dip into that, because that's like a little energy orb that you put into your mouth and go, I get it. See, just being by Rutherford today, just being next to him like this, I'm already more pumped. And I thought I was pretty pumped before. And I think that's the key. So if you're out there and you're struggling, you're just, whatever, I would just plug in and get around the people who have the energy, and you can just kind of like leverage their belief for now, leverage our belief, our enthusiasm, our excitement, and it's contagious. And then just share it. So I would say number one is just stay plugged in, because you're depositing energy and belief into yourself.
Leverage. That's what it is, leverage. It's awesome.
Mark, you are dead on, and I'll have a confession to make. I am not used to doing Hangouts on these embed pages. I'm used to doing on the YouTube channels where I can have people sharing them and commenting, and we can see the comments. So this is new for me too, but I'm going to assume that everybody really enjoyed it, because our numbers of viewers kept going up. And Mark is dead on, folks. Plug in. Make sure you're going to the company Facebook page every single day. It is updated consistently. Make sure that you are getting the emails from Rippln HQ. If you're in the United States, make sure you're subscribed to the text messaging. Make sure that you are subscribed to the various YouTube channels, all the information that's coming out, because there is a lot of it, the new videos. Make sure you're up to date with your back office. Make sure you're sharing that information. Make sure that you're not that you're not majoring in minor things, and that you're keeping it about what it's about, which is growing your social graph, having fun, and letting the people participate in and getting reward for what they actually built, which is you. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday. Thank you to Mark and Michael and Vanessa and Vincent, because there is nothing that I have more fun doing than hanging out with brilliant minds that are about changing the world. So that's why I'm here, because I get to hang out with people like them that make me feel young, because I'm 106 and still doing this. Thank you so much.
Lisa, you did a great job. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. Thanks everybody for being here, and Ripple on as we march to 1 million. 2 weeks. Will we do it? We all think that we will. We hope that you think so too, and let's all go do it together. Ripple on, and we will see you on the next call, which I believe is Tuesday night.
All right.
Have a good one, all.
Rock and roll.
See you guys.
Yeah.